What's up, everybody? I'm Simon Sabra, and today I got for y'all the last reading log of the year. So before we get into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Simon Sabra YT. Link for that will always be down in the description. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload, all that good stuff. Y'all already know the drill. Also, comment down anything you've been reading recently, anything you plan on picking up. Maybe what was your favorite pickup like throughout this whole year, anything like that whatsoever. But with all that out the way, let's just jump right into it. All right, so kind of just as like a little backstory real quick. I didn't realize that I like haven't done a reading log since like July. So I was going through my notes because after I read a series, I always like write down the name so I know, what to include in the reading log. And I'm like, dang, it's been a while since I've read some of these. And I'd like check the date on it and I was like, damn, these are like stuff I had planned for like the August reading log. So I kind of just like condensed it a bit. So these are just gonna be like my favorite things that I've been reading for like the past 3 months or so, ever since August, basically. So just everything, just my favorite reads that I want to talk about before the year ends, but not in like a dedicated video. That's pretty much it. Um, so that is like kind of the backstory for it. So there's a lot of stuff I did read that's not gonna be like included on here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys are all doing well. Uh, yeah, so let's jump into the first pick. These are in no particular order. I'm just gonna talk about the ones like I literally like just finished reading before recording this. And one of those was Takopi's Original Sin. Hopefully I'm saying it right and it's not Takopi or something like that, but I'm gonna say Takopi. Sorry for the glare as usual, but Takopi's Original Sin was one I've been looking forward to. Like, I could be wrong, but I feel like last year when I did like my most anticipated releases, like I think this was on it. I only really know it though because there was this series called The Ichinose Family's Deadly Sin, which was in Weekly Shonen Jump, which was fire. After a while, I kind of just stopped reading it. Like I haven't kept up with any weekly like series except for My Hero and JJK. That's about it. Everything else I've like. So then I heard they had this series called Takopi's Original Sin, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And then I heard it was getting a physical, and I was like, okay, well, we'll just wait for that instead of reading it online. And what I didn't know is that it is 2 in 1, or yeah, 2 volumes in one. So honestly, okay, just as like a little to kick it off, I guess. Long story short, it's about this girl that's like extremely depressed. Her life definitely isn't the best. She's, for the most part, just to kind of simplify it as much as possible, she's dealing with like some real bullying at school. And then there's this octopus that comes from this planet called like, I think he's like a Hapion or something like that, from planet Happy. And his goal is basically he got sent to Earth to make people happy, pretty much. And just from that, like the first thing that came to mind was like Platinum Men. Really not the best series to be compared to, I'll be honest, but I do think Takopi's Original Sin just handled it a lot better. And it's honestly the start of it was really solid. Like I'd say probably like the first 2 chapters, maybe. I feel like we're probably where it peaked, and I think it kind of fell off after that, which says a lot because, like I said, it is only 2 volumes. Because in the beginning, it starts out with her pretty much self-deleting, and the octopus, Takopi, that's his name, or its name. I don't think it actually has a gender, but Takopi basically rewinds time to constantly find ways to make sure that the main character is saved. And I thought that was the most interesting part ever. Like, they would shapeshift into the main character to try and like take their place to feel some of the bullying so that the main character wouldn't have to deal with it. Like it was, that part was peak. After that, because long story short, what happens is like the time machine breaks, so they kind of just have to like deal with whatever result they get. And then I was like, ugh, I'm not really messing with it. Um, it wasn't bad per se. I do think a lot of like the character interactions were really good. Definitely like unhealthy interactions, so to say, especially I'm not sure how old they are. Like judging by how they look, I'd probably say like middle school, maybe even elementary. Um, but the interactions were very, I don't like using the word, but toxic. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of the or interactions between the characters was just very toxic, and it was like, ugh, I don't know how I feel about that. But honestly, it was solid though. I think I'd probably give it like 6, 7 out of 10, maybe. Probably like a high five, like 5.9, 5.8, something like that. Like the start was just really, really strong, but after a while I just wasn't feeling it. So let's move on to the next series that we have here. And so this one, I'm gonna just get straight into it because I don't want to talk about this no longer than like 2, 3 minutes. I'll be honest with you. This book disgusted me, and that is Homunculus volumes 3 through 4. And like I said, this volume was just disgusting. There was somebody on my previous video. Sorry for the glare. Somebody on my previous video, the was it the manga hall? I think yeah, the manga hall. They commented because I was saying like I was scared, like I was genuinely scared to read this because of the way that the first omnibus ended. So I was like, dang, I really don't want to read this. And then somebody commented on that video. It was like, yo, you're not ready for it. You're like, whatever you expecting, you're not expecting that. And I was like, hold my beer. So I was like, let me go read this. And honestly, I don't really want to admit it, but like, it was kind of right. They was kind of right. They was more than kind of. They was right. I was not ready for what happened in this book. For anyone who read it, like y'all already know what I'm talking about. But the scene that took me out was when this man. I ain't gonna say what happened in case you want to read it or something like that. But when this man said old habits die hard, I was like, nah, this is one wild dude. Like, if you know, that scene probably scarred you as well if you read it. But when I tell you, I read it and I just had to sit there like this, bro. I literally just like, I was like, bro, what am I reading? And I hate to admit it, I'm still going to get the next omnibus when it comes out. I'm not even going to lie. Like, when the next one comes out, I'm still going to get it. But, like, I think I'm going to be scared to read that one, too, truth be told, because that book terrified me. Like, all y'all people that read horror manga and you say, like, Junji Ito is scary, nah, Junji Ito got nothing on that homunculus. That book was terrifying, bro. I've never been so uncomfortable reading a book in my life. I think I might be lying. I'm not. I might be lying. I think Girl on the Shore might be up there too. But that book was something else. Like I said, I don't even want to rate the book like that. Nah, nah. All right. So moving along, we do have another book that like people would describe as very disturbing. That is Mad K Volume 1 or Maddock Mad K. I'm gonna say Mad K. I think I read this probably like 2 months ago. I think like in September or something. It was in some hall, and I read it like during the time of that hall. No, I'm wrong because I read this like way after the hall that it was in. To be fair, and so I wonder if it was the same person, but when I showed this in the manga hall, I was like, I bought this. I don't know anything about it. I think the cover looks cool. I bought it because a friend said they were going to read it and they wanted us to read it together. So I bought it. And somebody commented, I wonder if it's the same person that commented on the homunculus. They were like, yo, you're not ready for Mad K either. They're like, you buying this as a blind buy is crazy because you're not going to be ready for it. And they were also right. I wasn't ready for it. I genuinely was not ready for it. And I have it's not behind me. It's on my bed because I plan on reading it soon. I have volume 2 of Mad K because volume 3, the final volume, came out this month. Didn't pick it up yet, but they were also right. I can't. This is another one. I just can't even rate the book. Long story short, it is about this dude who's just a weird kid. Let me just show some of the art while I talk. But he's just a really weird kid and somehow manages to summon a demon, right? And so the demon says, hey, I'll, grant you a wish. Cool. So the guy says to the demon, let me eat you. Okay, I guess. So I think the dude spends like a very long amount of time eating this demon. Like, dude is actually like, go home to, or not go home, go to school, come home from school, grab a fork, some seasoning, and eat the demon, bro, and then like save the rest for later. Like, it was a weird start, but compared to the rest of the book, that part wasn't even that bad. I'll be honest with you. That was probably the most tamest part of the book, and that already is weird. But there, like, I don't even know how to describe what happens next. Like, if I'm being very honest with y'all, I really don't know how to describe like the turning point of this book. But some stuff happens. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but this book is a BL. I don't know if I showed the spine, but this book is a BL. And it just got weird, man. Like, I think, like, okay, long story short, dude ends up, like, becoming, like, part demon or full demon, something like that. It's, like I said, it's been a while since I read it, but he ends up going to, I guess, hell. I don't know if they called it something different in the book, but they end up going to hell, and they're just, living there and stuff like that. Okay. I'm gonna show this page. I'm going to show this page actually, and you just read it for yourself, because this is when the story just got super weird. And if this made you uncomfortable, I'm not even gonna apologize for it, because it made me uncomfortable too. So if I gotta see it, yeah, I gotta see it. And just know it got worse from there. And like I said, I already picked up volume 2 because I actually kind of enjoyed volume 1. Like, it was actually pretty interesting. But yeah. That's mad K. I'm not even gonna rate that one either. Moving along to something a little, you know what? No, we're gonna stick with the degeneracy. We're just gonna stick with the degeneracy. After that, we've got Boys Abyss Volume 3. How much worse can this get, So, Volume 3 of Boys Abyss, for those of y'all who don't already know, I really don't like this series at all. Sorry, I don't even think y'all can see the spine for real. It's like, there we go. But yeah, I really don't like Boys Abyss. And I love this character, Chiako, something like that. I actually really like this character. And I read this volume 3 like way back, so I don't really remember a lot of stuff that happened in it, I'll be honest. But it's just weird, bro. It's just weird, man. I don't know how to talk about it. One, because like I said, I don't remember too much of it, but also like it just really did get kind of weird. It's one of those series. It's kind of like Mad K and Homunculus, where it's like you don't feel good reading it. Like, once you put the book down, you just want to go shower and just like become a new person. Like, you just feel filthy reading it, but then you kind of remember, and it's like, can't wait for the next volume. If y'all have a series like that, comment that down. Like, I guess you'd call it like a guilty pleasure. Like, yeah, what's your guilty pleasure series? Comment that down below. I'm curious to know what y'all got, because I can't be the only one. And okay, I think everything else is fairly wholesome, except for this next one I'm gonna talk about. And I did say that I might do like a full-on manga review of it once I complete the series, but that wouldn't be until next year, probably sometime in January though, because I do already have like the videos planned out for the rest of December, and this wouldn't really fit into it. But just to kind of cut to the chase, Gance. I'm gonna just show Omnibus 1 here. I have read all the way up to Omnibus 8, so I think that's what, like volume 24, I believe. More than halfway done with the series, because it is technically 37 volumes total. I'm not sure how much Omnibus it is. I think 12 or 13, something like that. But Gance, one of like my favorite manga that I have not finished. Honestly, that's the best way I could put it. Like, it is my favorite manga that I have not even finished. And I've been saying that since I've read the first two omnibus, which was technically only 6 volumes. And I've been saying like, yo, Gantz is my favorite manga. Like, at some point in time, I don't remember if it was this year or last year, but I did a video where I did like a tier list of all the manga in my collection. And I put Gantz at like top 10. And at that time, I've only read the first 2 omnibus. Like, this is heat, but it's not guilty pleasure heat. It's like, I get genuinely excited reading this book. Like, I see my boy K fighting an alien, and I just get hyped, bro. Like, I'm like, yo, that's my boy K. Like, I just get hyped watching, or not watching, but, you know, reading this series. And the part that I'm at right now is, I can't remember exactly whether it was, like, which part of Japan it was. I want to say it was, Hokkaido, but I could be very wrong with that. I mean, like I said, we got it right here. Y'all, I feel like y'all could probably see it like right there, but this is the volume that we're on. Spoilers for Gantz. And so this part, I don't know if y'all have ever seen like the Gantz Zero movie, or not Gantz Zero. Was that the name of it? Gantz Zero or something like that. I think it was Gantz Zero. It's like a CGI kind of movie for Gantz. And for some odd reason, I watched it like years ago, and I was like, oh, cool. Mind you, this is when I only read the first 2 volumes of Gantz. I didn't think the movie was actually canon. And so now I'm at the part where the movie covered, and I'm like, whoa, I remember that part. And it's actually pretty cool to see, because I actually don't remember anything from it. Also, I apologize if y'all are able to hear like some type of slight like rumbling sound. There's like traffic outside and stuff like that. But yeah, so that is Gantz. Did want to just like briefly talk about. I really don't want to make this video too long. I think it's already like fairly, you know, longer than I would like the video to be. But now from here, I just want to put that back. There we go. We get to like some of the more, well, this one's also not very wholesome, but I've talked about this in like 3 videos, I feel like, so I'm really just gonna like show it real quick. Dracul, DRCL, by Shinichi Sakamoto. They recently released Innocent, which is also by them. Like I said, I'm not even gonna talk about this one because I feel like for some reason I feel like I spoke about this in a reading log, but like I said, I haven't done a reading log since July, so I don't know when I spoke about this book, but I'm pretty sure I spoke about this book before. And as I've like always said, like, I love the art in this book. The art in this book is great. That's all I'm gonna kind of talk about. We're just gonna throw this one to the side. So we do have 3 series left. Yeah, 3 series left. Fairly wholesome, 2 of them at least, maybe just 1 of them, honestly. And I did talk about this one very briefly at some point, probably in a haul video, I don't know. But that is Orange. I did read both the first and the second omnibus, and I did recently pick up Orange to You, Dear One. I think that's the name of it, something like that. Haven't read it yet, but Orange, and you know what? Rant time. Quick rant. They just came out with the box set for it, and I was like, yo, those 7 individual volumes look beautiful, like especially the spine, because in my opinion these like omnibus spines are really ugly compared to the singles. And I've been like back and forth. I was like, dude, should I like go ahead and buy that box set, because it just looks so pretty. But also I love like that the omnibus literally takes up no space at all. Like the omnibus are relatively thin. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure it's no, because it's 7 volumes, so I think this would be 3 volumes, the other one would be like 4 volumes, or maybe like they did like 3.5, I don't know. But like compared to like these Gantz omnibus, which are like Bibles, dude, the Orange, you know, omnibus are actually relatively really thin. And so I'm like, you know, for space reasons, like these are way better. Plus I already have them, and I have already read the series. I don't think I'm gonna reread it. I feel like it's a series that's not that it's not worth rereading, but I feel like that not knowing the ending makes the series 10 times better. So I'm probably not gonna be rereading them anytime soon. So it's like, do I get the, the box set? But then that's a lot of space, but it looks so good. And it does also come with little postcards, which, uh, you know, but I don't know. If you've bought the orange box set, comment down how you feel about it. If you're on the fence of, getting the series in general, let me know. Do y'all like, would you rather get the omnibus or the box set? Are there actually orange singles? Like, I could just, for example, like go to a store and just buy like 1 through 7 singles without the box set. Like, is that a thing I could do? I don't know. But yeah, between the like box set and the omnibus, definitely comment down which one you prefer. But real quick, I feel like I talked about it in a video though, but I'm not even sure anymore. It's been so long since I did a reading log. Yeah, Orange, great series, very melancholy. I think that's the best word I would use for it. It's a very melancholy series, and it's very enjoyable. It has that sci-fi slice of life kind of thing that I just like. It's like it didn't feel sci-fi enough where it's not like space aliens invading stuff, but it also didn't feel like too slice of life, I guess, to where it's like, this is just a boring high school story. Like it was just right. It was just right. Um, Moving on, second to last. And the last book is actually like the one I've thought about making a dedicated video for, but we'll talk more on that when we get to that. Second to last, I think I talked about this briefly. I feel like I've said that about everything I've shown so far. Summer Ghost came out this year. It's based on a light novel, I want to say, or maybe I don't know, something like that. I think it is based on a light novel. It is just a single volume, and it was solid. Very similar vibe to Orange in the sense of like melancholy, feels slice of life, but has a little bit of like those fantasy elements to it. Dude, I feel like I did talk about this in a reading log. I don't even remember, honestly. But it's a very melancholy series as well. Just a calm series. Very dark topics in here. It is about 3 characters who kind of feel like they're very close to death, and all of their reasons for depression kind of conflict with each other. Just to like give an example off the top of my head, because like I said, I really don't remember much from this book, so I'll just kind of make up an example. But like, for example, like person A is extremely rich and they complain like, hey, I don't have any friends because, people just want me for my money. They don't want to really be friends with me. Person A doesn't really have much money, but they have plenty of friends, and they're like, wow, I, wish I had money so that I could do these things and hang out with my friends. And like, they'll never understand each other because of the way that their upbringing is, the way that they're not understanding, but the way their problems are, so to say. They just won't ever understand each other. And so that's kind of the dynamic between the 3 main characters here. Not that, specifically, it's definitely way more interesting, way more intricate, and, just a lot better than the example I gave. But hopefully that made, some sense, because I can't give like an exact example because it's been a while since I read it. I really want to keep up with the reading logs, but like, they're hard sometimes, man. But let's move on to the last thing. And this was, I'm not gonna say it because we'll save that for another video. But I've been wanting to talk about this one for so long. Like after I finished reading it, I was like, man, I need to make a whole video about this. And then I just like never did. Like I set up and everything, turned the camera on, and I was like, I'm not really feeling this video. But that is one that I've been meaning to read for forever, and I know I've been stalling, so let's just get to it. 20th Century Boys and 21st Century Boys. And this is one of the greatest series that I've read like this year, in all honesty. It's a journey. My boy Kenji, is his last name Mitsusada? I don't even remember, but my boy Kenji, that's my boy Kenji. Especially like, this is one of those series. Honestly, and this was something I used to hear people say a lot. I have read Monster by Naoki Urasawa, which is the same person. Recently, I know Pluto got an anime this year. I did read Pluto some time ago. It's I think like up here on my shelf. Um, and I've read Sneeze by Naoki Urasawa, a little bit of Asadora, and honestly, I used to think like Monster was like the greatest thing ever, but I think 20th Century Boys might be like the magnum opus. Um, 20th Century was just such a beautiful story, and it's I don't you ever like read a book and while you're reading it, and I had this same feeling when I read Pun Pun. While you're reading it, you just hear like this soundtrack. Like your brain creates this soundtrack, whether it's a playlist of songs that are real, whether you just, make up a melody on your own. And it just fits with the story so well. That's what happened when I was reading this book. And like I said, the only other time I had that, let me not say only, but I did also have that when I read Goodnight Pun Pun as well as Gance. Those are, including 20th Century Boys, those are three series. The only three series where when I am reading them, something like, I don't know, it just feels like a movie when I'm reading them. I don't know if that makes sense. If that makes sense, definitely like comment down if you could kind of like relate to that. But this video is already like 20 minutes plus, in length. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Sorry, English. But if you do, have any questions for like a more in-depth on how I felt about it, definitely comment down below. I'll, answer it. Any questions you might have, whether it be, like a simple how'd you feel about it, anything like that, blah, blah, blah. But also rating wise, 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 easily, 12 out of 10, 13 out of 10. Like, it was just great, honestly. But thank you all so much for watching. That is it for this video. Once again, be sure to follow me on Instagram at SimonSabroYT. Link for that will always be down in the description. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload, all that good stuff. Once again, comment down anything you've been picking up recently, anything you plan on picking up, favorite pickup of this year, anything like that whatsoever. Let's give a quick shout out to our channel members. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Also, speaking of channel members, starting next year, I don't do them too often, but whenever I do get like figures, I tend to do like a little, figure haul. I did one pretty recently. I am going to make that members only content starting next year. And then they'll probably become, I guess like general public videos, like maybe a month or two after the, after the initial upload, I guess. I'm really not sure. I'm trying to, next year, I'm definitely going to like make the more members exclusive content starting next year. That's definitely a goal of mine. As far as YouTube is concerned, I definitely have more YouTube goals as well for next year. But once again, yes, thank you everybody so much for supporting the channel. I really do appreciate it. But that's it for me. This is Simon Sabro signing out. Catch you on the next one.